Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. We had another busy weekend of motorsport and don't worry, they're only getting busier. But we had controversy aplenty with Super Formula from Autopolis, Formula 2 and 3 from Imola, Supercars from Perth and Brazilian stock car from Cascavel. So with all that to get through, let's not delay, subscribe to the channel and let's jump into this look at the past weekend's motorsport. We start with Super Formula from Autopolis. Minus Teo Pucher, the Formula 2 champion has decided IndyCar is more to his liking and is spending the rest of 2024 in America. Team Impol have been the team to beat over the last few years, and Tomoki Najiri especially, but they seem to really struggle with both pace and strategy in this race. That left the win open for anybody else. Post pit stops we had some awesome overtakes, with Sho Suboi really pulling out a couple of 10 out of 10 moves on his way up the field. Naoki Yamamoto dropped back from second as the race came to a close as his tyres went off. Todasuke Makino should have been in the same boat, but he hung on to take his first and a very emotional Super Formula win. Tomoki Najiri still leads the standings, tied on points with Makino and plenty of others close behind. Next up is Sugo in over a month's time. Formula 2 was one of the support series racing at Imola alongside Formula 1 this weekend. Lewis Hamilton has said he would like to see Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes in Formula 1 next year, and yes, the young Italian is really quick, but that would be the biggest mistake he could possibly make right now. He's good, but he has plenty of time to learn. He should have done Formula 3 this year, and then followed it with a couple of seasons of Formula 2 at least. Jumping up to Formula 1 so quickly will only hurt him in the long run, but it would be impossible to turn down if they offered. Race 1 started with a huge start line crash, taking out 5 different drivers all in one go. Dennis Hager has had a rough go of it of late. He was turned around, and in the ensuing carnage, Enzo Fittipaldi, Joshua Dirksen, Roman Stanek and Isaac Hadjar joined him on the sidelines. After a long safety car to clean up the debris, the high-tech pair led the field. Not a lot of overtaking in this race. Franco Colapinto got past Amaury Cordeel after a mistake and then passed Paul Aron on the final lap to take his first win, the first for an Argentine in Formula 2. Zane Maloney took third from Cordeel, but this was Cordeel's highest ever finish in Formula 2. Taylor Barnard took PHM/AIX's first points in Formula 2 since taking over from Charus, but was later disqualified, so they remained pointless still. Oh yeah, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli was 10th and out of the points. Onto the feature race, Gabriel Bortoleto was on pole once again, but he just can't get his starts right. Ollie Behrman led from Isaac Hadjar, but Ollie Behrman's bad F2 luck would strike again. He stalled multiple times at his pit stop and dropped to the back. So Isaac Hadjar led the medium tyre runners, but there were fierce battles behind. Try as he might, Zane Maloney could not pass Roman Stanek, who held on for the majority of this race, but both would end up outside for points. Amaury Cordeel put in a hell of a performance, and if his pit stop went well, he would have been in the top 5 with fresh tyres. It did not, and him losing a wheel caused problems for Pepe Marti also, and the two would be the only retirements of the race. Isaac Hadjar won his second feature race of 2024 and is very much in title contention, but Zane Maloney leads from Paul Aron. Joshua Dirksen finished third and gets the honour of PHM/AIX's first Formula 2 points since they took over from Charus. Best of all, we get to do this all again in a few days' time at the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. We also had Formula 3 at Imola, and the sprint race was a real dud in my opinion. We got so many safety car interruptions, it was actually quite frustrating to watch. And yet, there were quite a few talking points here. Our first safety car came after a first lap incident that saw Mari Boya in the gravel and out of the race. Then it was GB3 champion Callum Voisin in the wall that brought out the second. Then it was Sami Megatunif running into the back of Dino Bogdanovic and retiring in the Trident. Then a bizarre one-lap safety car for Tsanopol Infrapuvasak, who managed to get going again. That was the final one, after which the top 3 managed to gap the field as Kasper Zucker apparently decided to have a mid-race nap. Luke Browning went off on the penultimate lap, and that meant half the final lap was run as a virtual safety car for some reason. Surely the Imp for Pruvasak incident was more worthy of a VSC than this. It did give us final lap drama though. Oliver Gopher passed Noel Leon as the VSC ended. A shame because Noel Leon had handled every restart very well, but it looked like Gopher stole the win. Then Gopher was penalised for a safety car infringement and Noel Leon won. Then that was overturned. Then Noel Leon was penalised and dropped to third. So after much deliberation, Oliver Gopher won from Tim Tramitz and Noel Leon. It was nice to see the Euro Formula champion running at the front, but after the sprint race, we have 3 drivers on 37 points leading the championship, with Dino Bogdanovic 2 points behind and a whole host of drivers close by. And we still had the feature race. All 3 Tridents were at the front of the field at the start and they led the way early on. They didn't run in formation for long. A really game Oliver Gopher was soon up to second and chasing a double win. But Leo Fornaroli dropped behind him when he had a strange engine blip. This was a much more straightforward race with no safety cars, and it was all the better for it. Oliver Gopher spent the end of the race fighting with Sami Megatunev, who was desperate for his first win. 4 laps left, he took the lead and his first Formula 3 win. Oliver Gopher was the star of the weekend though, with a first and a second. Leo Fornaroli leads the championship, but it is extremely close behind him, and we do it all again at Monaco this weekend. Supercars from Perth. This series is entirely about the Triple Eight pair again, and that is a little disappointing. Every race weekend is going to be Brock Feeney versus Will Brown, and whilst we are almost guaranteed a new champion, unless of course Brody Kostecki makes the comeback of the century, I feel like this is going to be the case for years to come. Now on to race 1. We avoided any early chaos except for poor Richie Stanaway getting turned into the wall by Aaron Love. Looked like Stanaway missed a gear, so racing incident, and he got the car moving, so no safety car. The Triple Eight pair were behind Chaz Mostert, Cam Waters and Ryan Wood, who was racing in top form. It took them until after the pit stops to make any progress, and even then they were chasing both Wood and the now leading Mostert. Will Brown couldn't catch him, and Mostert held on for his first win in 3 years. Whilst the best battle on the last lap saw Mostert's teammate Ryan Wood hold off Cam Waters for a first podium. Brock Feeney could only manage 5th. Second race went much the same. Chaz Mostert led from Cam Waters. Brock Feeney again was off the pace and further back, a few places behind his teammates. Will Brown sent Tom Randall wide. Cam Waters passed Mostert for his first win of 2024. Will Brown pulls further away from Feeney in the standings, but Mostert has pulled closer to both of them. He should be considered the closest thing to a threat for Triple Eight. Next race is at Darwin in a month's time. Finally, Brazilian stock car coming from Cascavel. Felipe Massa is really the focus of the series right now. Can he keep his good form going yet another round? Well, he was in 22nd on the grid, so it would be a miracle. It was the son of another Formula 1 star who led early. Dudu Barrichello out in front and looking for his first win. Zizinho Mugiati had a big off, lots of damage to car and barrier, so a long safety car period followed. There was a threat of rain hanging over the race, but it never came, and Dudu Barrichello took his first win. Race 2 also started with a big crash and a safety car. Zizinho Mugiati was involved again, so his weekend consisted of about 3 laps and 2 big crashes. Great racing as always in Brazil. The normal title contenders were quiet at Cascavel, but Thiago Camilo had a moment, being lucky not to hit the wall. And we got late drama when race leader Daniel Serra broke down with just 3 minutes to go. I bet he can't wait for 2024 to be over. That left a very fortunate Bruno Baptista to take the win. Rafael Suzuki is somehow leading the championship ahead of Ricardo Zonta. But there is some screwiness with the points because Velocita isn't being added till later, so I don't know what's going on. So that was all the racing from the past weekend. Well, it's not all of it, but I can't be bothered to talk about the NASCAR non-championship races, and I haven't got round to watching the NASCAR European Series yet. Next weekend we have a lot of very important races, including the Monaco Grand Prix, which also means we have Formula 2 and Formula 3. IndyCar is back on our screens with the 108th running of the Indy 500. We also have Formula Regional Europe and Euro Formula from Spa, British Touring Cars from Snetterton, DTM from the Lausitzring, British GT from Donington Park, NASCAR from Charlotte, and Oh yeah, 2 Formula E races from Shanghai. All that in one weekend. I won't know where to look first. I'm going to have to lock the family in a cupboard so I don't get disturbed all weekend. Oh, and my race of the weekend was, I don't know, the Formula 2 feature race. I really enjoyed that one, and the championship is a real tough one to call right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What was your race of the weekend? Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.